Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 732. Before getting into this reading, chances are that most of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work and would like to help support the growth of my channel, you can do so by sticking around, hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. My current goal is 500 subscribers so I can have access to channel memberships. The current milestone focus for that 500 subscriber goal is 200 subscribers. I think I'm about 45 subscribers away from that, so if you do decide to subscribe and support the growth of my channel, thank you very much. And lastly, for those of you who have been kind of curious about the psychic and spiritual services that I've been offering over the past 5 days, that deadline will have been reached by the time this video is uploaded, the deadline to submit requests. So since that was just an experiment, I'm going to reflect on how I want to move forward, and if you're interested, I'm going to put the updates in the community tab. So I tried to record this one time already, and I burped, which is a sign that something needs to be released, but it wasn't like a big burp or anything. Maybe it was just like a little detail, something small but still just as important that needs to be let go. Maybe some small change is significant here. I got distracted by something that was said in Italian, but I had to let it go because too much information. But even just Italian coming through, that's a sign that your ancestors seem to want to communicate with you about something that seems small and should be let go, regardless. Because it's still equally as important as the things that are worse. With interpreting the number 732, the number 7, if you've been around for a little while, you know it's about learning, growing, wisdom, processing. Maybe you're getting downloads or intuitive hits. For some reason I wanted to say spiritual hits. Maybe you're curious about certain spiritual things. You need to pay attention to those. I want to say those little curiosities for whoever that resonates, but that feels like there's an ancestor here for someone that wants to embrace the more curious side of their nature. As a human, as a person, who knows? It seems like you get to decide that. Number 3 is it's also about learning and gaining wisdom. Because it's about healing. When you heal, you naturally learn things, you gain deeper insights, you find deeper meaning, deeper awarenesses. You learn things that you're uncovering some truths. Maybe some truths that are more shocking and painful and difficult than others. I think that if you've been leading with the truth, your ancestors, the spirit realm, light forces in general want you to know that they deeply respect your commitment to healing, learning, and empowering yourself to make a difference in your own life with what you learn, but also in the lives of others. I'm feeling this knowledge is power message coming through that's been coming through lately. there's some powerful knowledge, it feels like, that your ancestors, your spirit guides, spirit world, whatever higher power you believe in, listen, pay attention, and be open-minded about what that means, how you're supposed to listen, what you're supposed to listen to or for. The number 2 is about balance. It can also be confirmation of something needing to be let go. So I did start in the other video that I tried to record, like I mentioned. So it's clear here that there's something that you need to let go. But it doesn't feel like something that's going to be hard to let go. It almost feels like it's hard to describe. I just think they're happy for you. In terms of how far you have come already. How committed you've been thus far. I just looked down at the timer for recording this video. It says 555. It's a sign of change, transformation, embrace, change, embrace, transformation. Maybe there's some old information, some old false information that you need to let go. Could be about yourself, the situation, another person. Adding up the number 732, the numbers in that number. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. Confirmation there about healing. I also forgot to mention that number 3 can be about communication, using your throat chakra. And I did want to clear my throat there. I'm gonna get a drink of water actually. I feel like you're being called to use your voice one way or another in a certain situation. And I just looked down at the timer again and it says 654. It's a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. It feels like the universe really wants you to trust that, but it also doesn't want to be blamed for things that aren't its fault. I always like to describe like the universe has just as much control over itself as we do ourselves. I hope that makes sense. It kind of makes sense to me. Let me think for a second. I'm feeling drawn to the number 10, which usually that number is a sign that your spirit guides in here, which that just feels like confirmation. There's definitely spiritual beings present for someone to help them learn, heal, grow, change, transform, and find balance, and make room for more light, no matter what form it comes in. That's a really good feeling. I'm going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out a couple of index cards. I will do one index card from these index cards. This video can only be so long, unfortunately. I can't wait to be able to record longer videos, honestly. I would love to. But it's alright, it's something we gotta work toward. No problem with that. Okay. I have I'm too afraid to speak. You make me nervous. Someone here is afraid to use their voice because they are anxious. They're afraid of the consequences of the truth. But maybe for some people this is something big, but it doesn't have to be. It's okay if it resonates differently for everybody. It's just a general message here about someone being afraid to use their voice for one reason or another. I mean, I feel like it's because of fear. For sure, this could be you, this could be someone else, this could be you and another person, or a group of people outside of you, or a group of people that you exist in, or with, whatever. this focus here being on using your voice, that seems to imply that there is a situation where you don't feel heard. Whether it's somebody else or multiple people who don't feel heard and they're afraid to use their voice, no matter who it is, this fear needs to be analyzed to see if it's real or comes from self-doubt. And it's important to acknowledge that everybody needs to hold themselves accountable for their own, healing or whatever it takes to learn how to use their voice, to overcome the fear and to believe in their strength. I feel like there's people trying to work together in this energy, but somebody here is afraid to speak. The working together isn't as productive as it could be, it feels like. So you either need to hold yourself accountable. It feels like the guidance is to learn how to use your voice, to know when to use your voice in overcoming fears and when someone else needs to do that. No, or you need to hold someone else to do that, or hold themselves accountable in the same way that you're holding yourself accountable. Make sure you're holding people that you connect with up to the same standards that you hold to yourself, and vice versa. There could be something eye-opening about that, but that definitely doesn't have to resonate that way for everybody. Coming back to the number 732, what you learn from learning how to use your voice is invaluable in so many ways, no matter who it is. I feel like there are painful situations that one or many people have gone through that made honesty and truth equals danger. This could be a situation like that where you need to have your guard up. It could not be. But that's up for you to decide. But know you always have the right to protect yourself and to stand up for yourself, especially without retaliation. The last message I feel here is, I think you're being called to speak balance into existence. It's like finding balance on the inside is encouraging you to use your voice more, and you will have an impact on others. Never forget how truly powerful me, you, and everyone else is because of how connected we are. It's through our decisions. Our decisions affect each other, so take them seriously. Choose growth, choose honesty, choose strength. And I just heard choose fear. I feel like that's your doubt coming out saying that. Choose fear, don't choose fear. Choose self-love, not self-destruction. Make yourself loud and proud, not quiet and boxed in. But you don't deserve that. You deserve to be free, truly, truly free, no matter what situation this is.